You won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings, in Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama!
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. High school football from last night. Florence over Grissom, 43-0. May Jemison tops Decatur, 12-7. Hazel Green, 48-15 winners over Lee. Madison Academy, 33-10 winners over New Hope. And Tanner, 46-29 over Decatur Heritage. Thursday night college football. Jack State's Garrison Ripa kicks a career-long 52-yard field goal as time expires to lift the Gamecocks to a 29-27 win over Sam Houston. Jack State 2-0 in Conference USA play. NFL football from last night. The New York Giants get a career-high 3 rushing touchdowns from running back Cam Scadaboo as they stun the Eagles 34-17. Major League Baseball, Dodgers advance to the NLCS 2-1 winners over the Phillies, and the Cubs force a Game 5 as they shut out the Brewers 6-0. College football tomorrow, Alabama a 2.5-point favorite at Missouri. Make sure and download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
Exceptional outcomes start with exceptional therapists, and that's what you'll find at Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy. With 7 convenient locations across North Alabama, Johnson & Hayes offers expert care close to home. Our experienced clinicians specialize in everything from orthopedic and neurological rehab to TMJ, pelvic health, and lymphedema therapy. Johnson & Hayes is trusted by physicians and by patients across the region. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and see why outcomes matter at Johnson & Hayes.
Talking ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to a Football Friday here on the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. 2 hours straight of sports talk, goose gaffs, and so much more, which you can join in on and get your wacky underdog pick in or just conversate with us, because last night we got to see a really, really fun game. If you're a Giants fan, because Cam Scadaboo as well as Jackson Dart and Brian Daboll's got that big win against the Eagles, of course, that have now lost to 2 straight. And it is very intriguing to see because, of course, we're talking about 2 rookies that have totally changed the mindset of a team. But 256-576-97.7 is the number 2 hop into the show. Also, if you guys are wondering, that Shipley's Donut shop is pretty much built. It's going to be open on November 5th, November 8th, somewhere around the beginning of next month. Yeah, it is very quick. Wonder what else they're going to put in that little area. But regardless, Joe, did you watch the Scat Pack absolutely pile drive? A couple of Eagles players get into the end zone 3 times and just absolutely expose Philadelphia last night.
I actually watched 0 seconds of the game. Ooh, 0 seconds of the game.
Now why is that? Because this is a Thursday night football game we're talking about, all right? They're trying to throw out the best teams for a primetime game. It's a divisional rivalry matchup. Yeah, and a lot of people had their doubts about the Giants, especially coming off of last week. Wasn't a good game for Jackson Dart after the second half started. But I thought that this game was one where he could really show out yet again and kind of get more comfortable. And that, I feel like, is exactly what he did. But you were probably watching the baseball.
I was 1,000% on baseball. That was all I cared about. It was Dodgers, Phillies, and then it was Brewers, and that is and Brewers Cubs, and that is all I cared about the entire night. I even thought about turning it on whenever the Dodgers game was over with, and I kept sitting there and I kept thinking, like, it's Giants Eagles. But then I went, it's like week 5.
Yeah.
And this is the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's hard to kind of allocate your time towards middle of the season game when you do have do or die baseball going on, Joe.
Well, and the way the game ended for the Phillies, and literally, like, everybody makes – did you see how the game ended?
I did not.
Okay. See, because, again, you were watching football.
Yes.
Phillies, Dodgers. Phillies have a 1-run lead. They bring in their I guess he's now a setup man, DeArmond, who was the guy that they traded for back in at the trade deadline from the Twins. And he comes in, walks in a run to tie it up at 1. And now Dodgers are leading this series 2-1. This game goes to 11 innings. The bases are loaded for the Dodgers. There's 2 outs in the innings. Kirkeringer, I think it's Kirkin. It was the one that was pitching for the Phillies. 2 outs in the inning. Pejas hits a ground ball right back to him. He bobbles it, and instead of throwing it to first, which would have gotten the out because it was obviously he had plenty of time, he has an absolute brain fart, tries to throw it home, overthrows the catcher, and that's how the Phillies season ended, out of a total brain fart. Like, he just sat there in disbelief because he panicked because obviously he's bobbling the ball, and instead of remembering, oh, wait, I can still throw to first base, he tried to go home thinking, I need to get the force out there. And that's how the Phillies season ended. It was absolutely heartbreaking to lose that way, and I don't even like the Phillies.
Yeah.
But it was sad. So, like, I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm just going, I can't believe this. Like, I felt bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is one where afterwards, like after the Dodgers celebrate, like, you go over to the Phillies locker room and like the whole team just like gives him a hug and like, hey man, like, we all make mistakes. I know it's going to be hard because it's not like you're playing for the easiest city to play for in America. And you're was so close to sending this back to Philadelphia for a game 5, and to lose that way and for your season to end that way, that's absolutely just heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I think it's impressive. I mean, just to have that low-scoring game, you put yourself in the position to get back to Philadelphia, and that's kind of, what you're looking at. If you could have made it back, there's a possible chance you could have won on your home field, but if not, I mean, still, you'd be pushing one of the best teams in all of baseball, at least the highest-paid baseball team. But on the other end, Joe, you saw the Cubs get the win. And I mean, now
they obliterated the Brewers.
Oh, yeah. 6-0, not even a chance.
Oh, that was just
from
fun.
The Brewers.
That was just fun. First off, it's dumb that game started at 8:00. That was absolutely asinine.
Yeah,
way too late, especially for a Central Time Zone game. Like, come on. I don't care. Like, it's the Central Time Zone. I get, your both games were on TBS, whatever. That game was just so much fun to see. And this is kind of what we're getting into today with Tigers and Mariners, is the Brewers and Cubs have seen each other like, 20, 30, 25 times so far this season. So it's not like it's a team that you're like, we don't know that much about them.
Yeah.
You have seen every pitcher. You have seen every single player. You have seen every single thing about each other. Like, everything about the opponent. It is just who's going to do something bigger in a bigger moment. Like, that's what is really cool about this. And so Cubs and Brewers, that game is going to go to game 5 on Saturday, and that one's back in Milwaukee. And again, this is a massive rivalry. Like, if you talk about Cubs rivalries, yes, you have the White Sox and it's the whole Windy City rivalry and all that. But I am pretty sure you can take the same subway line to Wrigley and continue going and go to Milwaukee. Like, they're that close to each other.
Okay.
So, like, this is one that even on Saturday, this is going to be a massively mixed crowd because of how close Chicago and Milwaukee are.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
So,
it's kind of like
it's amazing.
It's the complete opposite of what the Phillies needed to do. The Phillies wanted to go home. the Cubs win their last game.
It was a
at
bad
home,
night for Philadelphia.
and then it goes
really kind of
over
was.
there. No, you're definitely not wrong.
It was a
You're
bad
not
night
wrong.
for Philly, man.
Yeah, it's
It
tough.
was.
Give your Philadelphia fan a hug today if he's having a
just
problem.
yell at him. That makes him feel more at home.
It's
I
true.
mean,
they'll yell at you, but you know what? You just got to understand that's their love language.
Yeah, that's it. That's their love language. If they yell at you, it's because they love you. That's exactly what it is. And so that's what I was involved. Because again, I always weigh the pros and cons of, all right, what is going to be a bigger moment that I'm going to say, I can't believe I missed that. Even if it would have been one of those like Deshaun Jackson fumbles the punt and runs it back to win the game.
It's a classic Eagles-Giants moment. Yep.
Yeah. Like even if it was one of those, I think I would have sat back and been like, Phillies, Dodgers and Cubs, Brewers. That was way more fun.
I don't know. I mean, I get where you're coming from.
And I also watched Preds.
That was nice as well.
Preds won.
Going into this game, you're not really thinking too much. You don't expect Jackson Dart to have the game that he did. You don't expect Scadaboo to get the amount of touches he did, because at one point there was an entire drive that was just built around him, and you thought at one point this guy would get winded. No, he did not. He just kept running into people head first. But it was a very impressive game, and I think that it does mean something to watch it, just because we're seeing a legacy be built. And of course, I don't want to jump and say this is an overreaction, type of show. But what we saw from Jackson Dart was very much consistent. He was 17 to 25. He had a touchdown, 195 yards passing. But for a guy like Cam Scadaboo, this guy almost got over 100 yards. He also caught a lot of passes as well. And on top of that, 3 touchdowns. Joe, you can't complain about that. It's looking like a new day for the Giants. And now ESPN could have a reason to talk about them so much.
Oh, yeah, because they needed a reason to talk. Because I think, honestly, with ESPN, a lot of times they fall into the atmosphere that we all fall into. Like if you're walking around Huntsville, you're not going to be sitting there and caring about the Cowboys or something like that. Like you were going to get kind of caught up in what the city is talking about.
No.
And I think that because of where that studio is now located, I think that a lot of them get caught up in that. And so that's why they probably talk about New York way more than what they should. But at the same time, this was a classic matchup in this that I promise you, if this would have been on Sunday, I would have had it on somewhere.
Yeah.
But when I had 2 playoff games, I had the Preds opening game, I was focusing on those 3 things and not so much on a week 5 or week 6 NFL football game.
Yeah, and it's totally understandable, but tonight you should be focusing on some week 7 football here in
That
the area.
I am.
Buckhorn versus Southside Gadsden, as well as Sparkman versus James Clemens, which both of these games should be a lot of fun. We had a bunch of great games as well on the network last night with the game of the week, May Jemison versus Decatur, New Hope at Madison Academy, and Westminster Christian versus Madison County. And in a few moments, we will be talking with Drew DeArmond, kind of run down what he saw from these games, as well as what the future of tonight's going to look like. And then on top of that, I need some reassurance. All right, Joe, because I am all in.
You're beautiful. You don't need anybody else to tell you that. You need to know that. Oh, sorry.
You know who my dad is. I don't need to hear that stuff.
You are a good person. You work hard.
No.
You do not need anybody.
That's not what
okay, I'm just double checking.
But I need to know that Alabama can do what I predicted just the other day. All right, because I'm hearing a lot of
behind
people.
You didn't even say that was going to happen. Just letting you know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to wait and hear from you here on this show, because I'm looking at this Alabama team, and I'm looking at this Missouri team, and I'm looking at an Alabama team that is battle tested. I'm looking at a Missouri team that has very skilled players, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to hold up with the Crimson Tide. And yes, this is going to be in Columbia. It's going to be on their home turf. It should be a big help for them. But at the same time, Alabama's just looked so good. And the secondary for Missouri is the biggest problem, in my opinion. And that's something that Alabama has been able to really click on these last few weeks. And if you're going to be able to pass the ball with ease, then the run game isn't going to have to mean that much to you. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see. But I'm really hoping and bagging on a 41-21 game. I'm just going to throw that.
Yeah,
out there.
I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, you keep saying that though. You know what? You keep saying that because as an entrepreneur, Joe, as an entrepreneur, all right, people are going to say that you can't do it. But
yes, I realize that.
I'm going to believe that I can do it, and it's going to happen.
I mean, look, yeah, but that's one of those you control. The other, you have nothing in it that you control.
Wrong. You know what I can control, though?
You do not control that.
I can control what roof is atop my head.
Yes, because you can't control the weather, so you need to have a backup plan for when the weather gets bad.
No doubt about it. Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. Fill out that free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Again, the phone lines will be open for you throughout today's show, 256-576-97.7, as we have some wacky underdog picks already lined out for Yorkie, Jason, Brandon, Harry, and so many more. And, of course, the leader right now is still Josh at 27.5, Jason behind him at 25.5, and Smokey Mike sitting at 14.5.
Yeah, and we're about to have Drew DeArmond coming up here in just a few minutes, brought to you by McCurry Motors in Alumni Hall. And wanted real quick before we're getting the show going, because I know that they listen, and I just wanted to put out a special thank you for something that happened yesterday afternoon, because obviously if you're a parent right now, you know, thankfully that today is the last day of fall break. And so you don't have much more time of trying to figure out where your kids are going and where all they're hanging out. But my son yesterday was hanging out with my dad, and so they went what they call letterboxing and all this other stuff. They had like a really fun day.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you know, my dad's like, "Hey, where should we meet you?" I was like, "Hey, just come by UAH. And I'll show you all the things that we're doing, because you haven't been over here in a while."
Yeah.
So they come over. My little man is with me in there, and the volleyball team was practicing or getting ready to practice yesterday as we were walking into the gym. And so I walked him over. Again, this is a 6-year-old about to be 7-year-old looking at a bunch of grown women. He was really nervous. And so he's
not just that, grown women, volleyball players.
Yes, volleyball players. I mean, they're 18, 19, but to him, they're like, he's like, "Oh God." And so he's walking over there.
Are you Wonder Woman?
Yeah. And so he walks over, and there were two there that one in which is Zoe Smith, who works a lot with us on the admin side during basketball season.
Yeah.
And so she looked over and she saw him, and I was like, "Hey, come here. I want to introduce you." So I introduced her to him, and he's like, "Hey, my name's Ollie. It's nice to meet you." Like, it's one of those. And I was like, "Hey man, show her your teeth."
I forgot about that. Yeah, he's got no two front teeth.
He gives this big smile. He's like, "I lost my teeth." And he was so happy. And then she called over one of her teammates, Anna Claire Hutto, and they were just so incredibly awesome with him. Also McGeehan, one of the other players, she was at the door as well. And all the volleyball team themselves were just really awesome with my son. And I just wanted to say thank you, because I know that head coach Sean Mosley also listens, and he wasn't on the court at that point in time because he was walking down the hall. And so, you know, I just wanted to say thank you for them, because they didn't have to be that awesome with him.
Yeah.
And so I just really wanted to say thank you, because he was like sitting there going, he went home and he went, "Mom, I got to meet the volleyball team." Like, it was really kind of that one thing that was really cool to him.
Ollie's going to have a newfound confidence now when it comes to talking to anybody.
Yeah, he's going to have to, because I'm like the SID now for also the women's basketball team. And so I'm going to be around those ladies a lot. So that means that he's going to have to be around them as well. And so he's just going to be picking up on all of this just because of all the sports that he has to be around now. So yeah, we got him signed up for wrestling too.
Okay, sweet. That kid's gonna know a few
I don't
things.
think he doesn't know that it's not like WWE wrestling.
That's going to be a tough reality check.
Yeah. When he goes out and tries to give somebody a stunner real fast, I think that's gonna get him like disqualified.
You mean I can't hit them with a metal chair?
He's gonna walk in and just look at him and just go like, "You can't see me," and then just like kick him in the chest. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah, it might not work out. Well, you know what? Ollie's around a lot of sports. You're around a lot of sports. We're all around a lot of sports, of course, as we get into this action-packed weekend. And to help us kind of break it all down is Drew DeArmond, presented by McCurry Motors and Alumni Hall. So when we get back, we'll start that conversation, get into all of our predictions, as well as what we saw last night in the North Alabama area when it comes to the high school football. It's all coming up here on a Friday edition of The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch The Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Temperatures drop into the low and mid-50s as we head into the overnight early Saturday morning. A mostly sunny sky Saturday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, dropping into the mid-50s overnight. Another fantastic day as we head into your Sunday, sunshine, and temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This is your home for Madison Academy football.
Owens in some trouble, eludes a man, flings it to the far flank. It is caught! Right. It is caught by Kreider!
This is your home for the Mustang Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Armed and dangerous, ain't too many can bang with us. Straight up, no, label us notorious. Thug us.
Hello and welcome back in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, joined by Drew DeArmond from Talkin Ball, presented by McCurry Motors and Alumni Hall. And last night, of course, you could catch 3 different high school games on our airways. And Drew, I know you're keeping the dial on all of these and so much more going on that tonight as well. What did you see in the Tennessee Valley last night that might intrigue a lot of the fans of these squads?
Well, I mean, look, man, we did the Huntsville City Schools game of the week. It was the May Jefferson Jaguars over at Wicks Family Field against the Decatur Red Raiders. both of them had come in playing better football. Decatur had won 2 in a row after starting 0-5, and they were trying to almost pull off a sweep of the Huntsville City school system. They had soundly defeated Columbia and Lee, but they led 7-0 going into the locker room. But Mae Jemison stuck to the ground game, mixed in some short, controlled throws, and their defense continued to stand on their head. Really, after the opening drive, shutting Decatur out, including twice in the red zone late, getting an interception in the end zone to run the clock out and win 12-7. Now the Jags have won 4 out of 6 and then lost in double overtime to Southside Gadsden, or they would be in the mix for they're still in the playoff hunt, but they would be having an above average shot to get a home playoff game. But they lost that one 22-16 to Miles Holcomb's squad. It was but they bounced back nicely last night. And, if Buckhorn could find a way to win at Tommy Ledbetter Stadium tonight, I'll be on the call with Tom Abraham against Southside. A lot of playoff implications next week as the Buckhorn Bucks would be hosting those Mae Jemison Jaguars in 6A Region 8 play. But it was a big win for Mae Jemison last night. They found a way to get it done. It was really a line of scrimmage game the second half. They came out determined to run the football. They ran it in what I was calling the wild jag, and then they mixed in Jackson Burrows, who made some plays with his feet and with his arm, and they were able to escape and beat John Ritter's Decatur Red Raiders, who are rebuilding and now go to 2-6. They've got Coleman next week and then Athens. So it's still a rebuilding year for Decatur. Doesn't look like a playoff season for them. But Mae Jemison now 4-4 after starting slow, losing their first 2 games. So you got to give the Jags a lot of credit for continuing to plug away. And then last night, the Florence Falcons stay hot, 43-0 over Grissom at Brawley Stadium. And now if Huntsville High can hold serve, remember, this is a dangerous Albertville team. They run the speed option. They just got through beating Grissom, who gave Huntsville all they wanted. They beat Grissom a couple weeks ago. We did that game as our Woody Anderson Ford Huntsville City game of the week. It was 21-18 over at Wicks Family Field at Joe Davis. And right now they had lost 5 in a row, but played a lot of close games, including, I know you guys, Sparkman went over there and dropped 45, I think it was, but they had to pull away late. And then they gave Austin a good game, did Albertville. So Huntsville pulled that huge upset over Austin last week, 21-17, and they've had fall break. So we'll see if there's any hangover. But if they can win their game next week, that facing Florence at home, there are going to be a ton of playoff implications with Florence and Huntsville taking on each other next week. And it'll be a home game for the Crimson Panthers.
And what's crazy is that going back to the Mae Jemison thing is they beat Sparkman earlier in the year.
Yeah, 34-27.
And when they beat them, it was one of those like, man, I can't believe that we just lost to Mae Jemison. Like it was one of those thoughts. Like John and I both look at each other going, I cannot believe this. But now they have 4 wins. They're back to 500. It is the highest amount of wins that they've had since 2020 when they had 4 wins.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, this is showing that, okay, look, you can't just look at the helmet in the history because of what Rico White is trying to build over there. And he talked a lot about that during the preseason when we had him there for Media Day.
Yeah, and because of that win over Sparkman, we had him as Team of the Week. So, I mean, because that was an upset there. We didn't expect them to go to the Capitol and win, and they built a huge lead and held on. But I'll give Sparkman a lot of credit, and they're going to be our Team of the Week this week, and we're going to present them with a $500 check today. We're supposed to be over on campus at 3:15 over in the lunchroom area to present their squad before this big game on the road at James Clemens. But, Sparkman, that was, no question about it, a huge bounce back last week, especially that fourth quarter, to be able to get up off the mat. You certainly felt like you dropped one the week before that you should have had or that you expected to win. And you've been playing much better football, but to be down 2 scores, and it was 26-14, I believe, with about 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and to come back, score 15 in that fourth, win that game 29-26, man, it totally flips the season on its head because now you're 3-1 in the region, and you're trying to hold serve with Florence, who's 4-1. And then you've got a big game tonight, too, Bob Jones and Austin. Bob Jones has all of a sudden gone in the tank. I mean, seriously, I mean, it's something we totally didn't expect. They looked so good early. And now if Bob Jones doesn't get this win tonight, they are in grave danger of missing the playoffs.
Look, I do not know what has happened with Jacoby Gill. And I'm saying this for real.
Yeah.
He missed, John, if I said 8, would I be actually underselling?
You might be underselling it.
He missed 8 wide receivers by more than 2 or 3 yards.
Wow. I mean, it's just, and it's, now their season's not over. They can turn it around tonight at Austin, but the Black Bears are trying to, they're trying to make it a 3-team race right now. They're trying to stay at the top of the region with Sparkman, who's, and of course, in Florence, who already got a win. So, and then if that is the case, if we already had Florence get a win, if Austin wins tonight, if the Senators win tonight, then right now it's a 3-way dance at the top of the region, and then Huntsville trying to keep pace and stay alive for that 4th playoff berth, because again they need to beat Austin, or excuse me, they already beat Austin. They need to beat Albertville, pardon me, and then the good part for Huntsville is they control what they can control, which they play Florence, and if you win, you have the tiebreaker over them, and then of course you play the Bob Jones Patriots, who at that point could be playing the spoiler route, or if they win tonight, if they upset Austin, this region is really set on its head.
I'm telling you.
Then you start talking about out-of-region opponents, tiebreakers, things of that nature. I mean, last week was crazy enough, but it could get even crazier tonight, especially if Bob Jones can go to Austin and get a win. And then if James Clemens, they're still fighting for their playoff lives. Huntsville's certainly going to be big Sparkman fans, because now they've lost to both teams, but again, Sparkman is ahead of them in the region standings, and this would knock James Clemens back behind them with a 3rd loss in the region if Sparkman could get that done. So there's a lot to play for in 7A Region 4. I don't really think there's a great team in the region, but I think there's a lot of good teams. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing with the way it's played out.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And you look back on James Clemens' schedule and you see that 54-7 loss to Bob Jones, but then you see that 31-14 win against Huntsville. And of course, Drew, you knew plenty about that game. But, I mean, this team has lost the last 2, one of them to Spain Park, which Sparkman saw early in the season, and then a Florence team that we're waiting to see at the end of the season. But James Clemens, where would you kind of put them right now with their season?
They're just they're building. They have a young offensive line, which has kind of affected MJ Gideon's productivity at running back. They've got 2 talented receivers though that are good players. One of them, I know, Lively got injured against Huntsville. We'll see if he's back yet. But don't misunderstand though. James Clemens is still talented. They've got a really good football team, no doubt about it. This should be a battle tonight, having to go back out there, and certainly they know what's at stake. They had to forfeit the game, unfortunately, against, which sounded ridiculous to me, whatever. I mean, it didn't sound like it was the young man's fault, certainly. For James Clemens. They should have got that win over Gardendale, but certainly this is going to be a big game, no doubt about it. And like I said, James Clemens, they have talent outside. The wide receiver core is good. The QB is a first-year starter. And like I said, you talked about Jacoby Gill. He actually transferred from James Clemens to be the QB at Bob Jones. So, but, the biggest key, though, for Sparkman, I think, is contain MJ Gideon. You got to stop the run first, and then you just got to do a good job of making them earn it, and then don't give up the explosive plays. Huntsville High, unfortunately, against the Jets, threw 4 interceptions. It was by far their worst offensive game. They were in it at halftime. It was 17-14, but Wyatt Smith had a really good year for the Panthers, but he had 4 picks that night, and then the wide receiver core really played well, and Huntsville had some middle errors in the back end, and the Jets were able to pull away and win it in the second half.
Maybe you know the answer to this, because as I was researching about James Clemens, because John, you brought up the Bob Jones game, and that glaring loss. What was really unique about that game is how Matthew Evers was actually playing wide receiver during that game, and Mason Rose was playing quarterback during that game. And it's the only time all season long that has happened. But I'm just wondering what was and why that strategy took place, because I mean, Matthew Evers has played in every single game this year, but that one game he was playing wide receiver.
Well, I mean, it could have been an injury situation, could have been sickness. We don't know, what happened because he certainly didn't play QB. We saw Evers at number 10 behind center against Huntsville, and he played pretty solid. But don't forget, the guy to watch, and he was the MVP against Huntsville, is Aaron Gonzalez, the sophomore, number 14. That dude's smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, Sparkman's going to have to contain him tonight because Huntsville could not tackle him.
9 receptions, 180 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, moving over to the college scene, of course, Drew, a big game going to be happening. Another top 25 matchup for Alabama. They're facing off against Mizzou. This is in Columbia. And I know you talked a lot about this on Talkin' Ball, but I have my own opinions on it, but I want to hear yours. I need a little bit of reinsurance, okay, because I'm favoring Alabama heavily in this game, but what are your opinions on it?
It's going to be a tough game. Going to be a close one, I think. Certainly Alabama's going to get Missouri's best shot. I mean, if you listen to some of the media, they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1975, but I mean, still.
It's going to be a tough game if that's the case.
But I mean, Mizzou's a good football team. They hadn't played squat.
No.
I mean, they played a mediocre South Carolina team, and they played a decent Kansas team. Everybody else they played barely has a pulse, but they've done what they were supposed to do. They handle business. I think they're good. We'll see how good. I think Alabama's the better team on paper. I think they've beaten Georgia on the road. Who it's funny how the media will tell you a team has no shot to win, which most of them gave Alabama no shot to win at Georgia. And then they end a 33-game losing streak. But then they actually try to turn around and then say, well, this Georgia team's not as good as we thought. Well, Alabama beat their ass. That's all there is to it. And then ifs and buts is candy and nuts. Maybe Diego Pavia had shut his mouth. So, I mean, now it's, well, if Vandy had done this, if Vandy had done that. Vandy got the hell beat out of them.
Oh, yeah.
23-0 for the end of that ball game. It wasn't a fluke. I mean, yes, Vandy did a great job of staying in it and fighting, and they made Alabama kick field goals, but Alabama kicked field goals. And Alabama shut Vanderbilt down the second half completely. And Diego did turn the ball over twice. Boo-hoo-hoo. If Jalen Milroe had not, had the 2 turnovers he had early, maybe Alabama outscores Vanderbilt last year, but they didn't. You can't have revisionist history.
Yeah.
So, but Alabama's going to have to play a solid game. They're going to have – the same formula is going to have to happen. Alabama has got to control the clock, and they have controlled the clock in the last 2 games. They've dominated time of possession against Georgia and Vandy.
Like 10 minutes almost.
And they need to do the same against Missouri because Missouri's the home team. You need to take the crowd out of the game. I do think Alabama is starting to round into form. I don't think people are playing it enough. They're talking about Ahmad Hardy, and I get it. He's leading the nation in rushing. He's done one heck of a job, had a great freshman year at Louisiana Monroe. Alabama is not going to completely stop him, but they need to contain him. And then Jam Miller rounding into form is legit. Like I heard Joel Klatt, who's an idiot, basically say last night that he said, well, Jam Miller had a nice game, but they still only averaged about 4 yards per carry, blah, blah, blah. Well, Jam Miller had 22 for 136 and a touchdown against a good Vanderbilt defense. And Vanderbilt, we'll find out this weekend. Are they better than Missouri? I think they are. But, Missouri's playing at home, and Alabama has to go out, be mentally ready to go. It's an 11 a.m. kick. If this is, I know Tom Abraham disagreed about it being a trap game. But the reason I say I consider it a little bit of a trap. I know they're undefeated and ranked 14th, but the reason I call it a little bit of a trap game is because, look, Alabama's played 2 highly emotional games.
Yes.
Against Georgia, who, of course, they had beaten the year before, and Georgia's kind of the standard in the SEC right now. They won that game. Then Vanderbilt, we all know the story from last year.
Yep.
Everybody's like, can they get revenge? Can they get revenge? Well, the week after this game, you play Tennessee, who you should hate, like I do, and who beat you last year. And so that you'll be back at home. But in between, you're playing a really good Missouri team on the road.
Yeah.
So you've got to be mentally ready to play. I mean, certainly I think Alabama respects Missouri, but it's like the NFL. It's hard to get yourself up for every game. I mean, look at what we saw last night. The freaking Giants beat the Eagles, okay? The week before, they lost to the Saints. the Saints, who are awful. So you have to be ready emotionally to play. So if Alabama is ready to play, if they protect the ball, which they've done all year, if they win the turnover battle, which they did against Vandy and they did against Georgia, and they control the clock and they're balanced, and I think with Jam Miller coming back, he may continue to get better every game, then I think this Alabama team is going to win. Now, I respect Ahmad Hardy enough, Bo Prabula, Kevin Coleman, the wide receiver who's been at 6,229 colleges in his career, but he's a good player. They've got good – they're good, and they have a solid defense. So that's why I think it's going to be a one-score game. I got it 34-27 Alabama. I'm taking it to be a little bit more high scoring. I'm taking the over a little bit here. But I just like Alabama in the game. I think it's one of those – if you're really a championship team – and you're a contender in the SEC, it's a game you have to find a way to win because you've got, Tennessee next week, and then you end the month on the road at South Carolina. But I think Vanderbilt, to me, is an upper echelon team in the SEC after what I saw. And now we'll find out if Missouri is, but I just think Alabama is better than Missouri offensively. I think even though Mizzou's a good offense, I like Alabama's with their balance and their wide receivers, and I think they have the best QB. We'll find out a lot more about Prabula on Saturday. Missouri's defense, it's hard to know. I think their secondary can be had, and I think Alabama is coming off of two really good second halves, but they need to, put together a solid game against Mizzou. Now, look, Alabama's got to play complementary football. And this defense is never going to be dominant, guys. The Alabama defense. But if Alabama can get off to a fast start and build a lead, I still like this defense's ability to force turnovers. They're leading the nation in turnover margin. Make Missouri have to be uncomfortable. And then they did that to Vanderbilt. And Mizzou's been able to front run all year. But if you can jump on them, and put them in some down and distance situations where they're uncomfortable, perhaps Mizzou makes mistakes. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember this back in 2009, but Ole Miss was getting a ton of hype with Jevin Sneed. They were on the front of Sports Illustrated. Everybody said Alabama was going to have a hard time going to Oxford and winning. Well, Ole Miss kind of hyperventilated, and Alabama beat the piss out of them 22-3. I don't know that I'll see it with this group like doing that to Missouri, because I just don't know that the defense is dominant enough. But I still think Alabama can win the game. I think they will win the game. I felt like that. I respect Coach Drink. I think he's done one heck of a job, and that's one reason why I think it's going to be close, because I think Ahmad Hardy is going to make some plays. But if they can keep Ahmad Hardy around 100 yards, if he doesn't go bananas for 150, then I think Alabama wins. And I just think the Tide has the better roster. And as long as they're solid on special teams, I thought it was big to see the bounce back of Connor Talty last week. He missed the one in the first half, but made all three of those kicks. If he misses any of those, it could be a completely different game. Yeah. And so I just think Alabama's doing a good job of rounding into form, and this is a tough game against a good Missouri team. But I think Alabama wins a workmanlike 34-27 game.
Drew got in his opinion. You can as well. 256-576-9777. Before we get you out of here, Drew, I really want to talk about the second most intriguing game, Oklahoma versus Texas. All right. With or without John Mateer, what do you think this game is going to end up?
Man, it's going to be a tight one. Both defenses are good. It looks like Mateer is going to play. We talked to Jesse Crittenden this morning. The rust factor will be interesting. Everybody's talking about Arch Manning, but he was actually, I thought, pretty decent against Florida. His teammates around him didn't play great. But Jake Crane said 17-10. I'm around that number. I would probably say something like 20-13. Oklahoma finds a way to win a physical, defensive oriented game. And then my upset, you guys like do the wacky underdog stuff.
Yep.
It's not really a huge upset, but I think Auburn's going to find a way to beat Georgia.
Shut your mouth.
I think it's going to be close too, Joe.
Look, I already have the moving van backed up, okay? I've got them on speed dial. All I've got to do is just hit the button and go, it's a go, it's a go, it's a go. I just need him to lose this game. Okay.
Oh,
I am ready for him to be gone. I'm ready for old cowboy hat to finally gotten his wish and seen that it does not work. And maybe now Auburn can get a real coach in there.
Well, we'll see. It's certainly going to be interesting. I think it's going to be close, and as Jake Crane said, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. But I've just had a feeling for several days that coming out of the bye, that Auburn will play a smarter game, run the football. And this Georgia offense is good, but not super explosive. The defense is good, but it's not vintage.
No.
And so I think Auburn will find a way to win it, maybe on an Alex McPherson, last-second field goal. But it would be huge for Hugh Freeze. It would certainly calm some of the doubters because they've got a difficult stretch of schedule still to navigate. Because the SEC is so deep. But like I say, my upset pick is Auburn over Georgia, but I like Oklahoma over Texas. 20-13, even though they favored Texas all week. I mean, it's been kind of surprising. Mateer coming back, I thought might swing that, and I think it did for a few hours, but some money came back on the Longhorns. So it's going to be an interesting one, though. And then we'll see what happens with Indiana and Oregon. I'm all on Oregon. I don't believe in Indiana. We'll see.
Should be an interesting weekend, and we appreciate you, Drew, for stopping by and giving us a little bit of intel on some of the games we are going to be watching. Appreciate you, as always, everybody. Drew DeArmond, presented by Mercury Motors and Alumni Hall. We'll hit break. When we come back, 256-576-97.7 as we get into the second hour here on the Blitz on 97.7. ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Number 10, Georgia visiting the Auburn Tigers tomorrow. Georgia, the 3.5-point favorite, 45.5 the total at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Number 8, Alabama laying 3 at number 14, Missouri. The Crimson Tide have won 6 straight over the Tigers. Texas State laying 9.5 at home with Troy. UAB plus 5.5 at Florida Atlantic. Last night, Jacksonville State with a win on the road at Sam Houston, 29-27, but they did not cover at 7-point favorites. NASCAR Sunday, Kyle Larson plus 450 to win the Cup race at Las Vegas. Connor Zilisch plus 175 to win the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
There's a lot of talk these days about who's the biggest. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. Bigger doesn't equal better. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. We know we're not the biggest. We don't want to be.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're big enough to handle your case and get you the help you need,
but small enough to welcome you. Where you're never just a number, you're part of our family.
The Lackey Law Firm, 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware is your locally owned and operated hardware store. We're not just about numbers, we're about helping neighbors, because our Ace Hardware store is part of your community. We're committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience. As the helpful hardware folks in your neighborhood, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop by and visit Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware today, 1536 Blunt Avenue in Gunnersville.
Fall break is upon us, but the high school streaming network still rolls on in Week 7. We have 3 Thursday games, including our Game of the Week featuring Mae Jemison taking on Decatur. New Hope visits Bill Washington Stadium against Madison Academy, and Westminster Christian takes on Madison County. On Friday over the airwaves will be Buckhorn taking on Southside Gadsden, and Sparkman is at James Clements. Follow all the action on our streaming network all season long.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. In Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We're going to be rolling up to Madison City Schools tonight.
That's right.
The Senators will be facing off against a really intriguing James Clemens squad that last year came down to the wire in Harvest, and I remember having to jump out the window. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, when you listen to the opening for the broadcast tonight, you're gonna go, yeah, every bit of that is from James Clemens.
It was all
from James Clemens. It all was.
Sparkman usually gets one really surprising, really fun victory, and that was last year for Sparkman. But this year they're trying to completely run the table against the Madison City Schools. Of course, Bob Jones and James Clemens specifically, and we're hoping tonight
that may come true. And for all of the James Clemens fans out there, you guys definitely have a chance to win this game. But, of course, me and Joe are going to be on the broadcast over on the Senator Zone.
Oh, no.
So we have a little bit of favoritism towards the Senators.
Not just you and Joe.
Oh, is Steve going to be out there as well?
That is the plan.
Okay.
To not only have John and Joe, but to also be adding Steve Moulton on the field as our on-field reporter.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, last night he was over at the Madison Academy game as they faced off against the New Hope and beat them as they should. But regardless, if you are listening up in ESPN Winchester, you're probably looking forward to the Franklin County Rebels. And tonight they'll be facing off against Lawrence County. And this Rebels team really got to get on some sort of roll, I would say, to finish out the season. I think playoffs might be a little unlikely, but they still have those 3 area games left. But I remember my time playing old Franklin County. We were playing Columbia to the bitter end, and it was a game where we got up by 2 scores, then they came back. Then we got up by 2 scores, and then they came back. And then they won the game, and I remember I was the last person to touch the football in our last contest against Columbia before I graduated. And it was supposed to be like a hook and ladder type of play.
Oh,
and I don't think I ever tossed the ball to the guy that was coming across. I was just like, I'm gonna push forward. Like I don't know where my dude's at. But it was one of those games that
such an Abraham.
It uses all of your, I would say, uses all of your mind to try and get through that game. And then the next game is a mental game because you look forward to it and it's against an easier opponent. And I remember that opponent was Lincoln County, who at the time wasn't great, but they weren't bad either. And they were able to get the best of us. And of course, that was in Lincoln County's stadium. So it kind of sucked, but it's just how it is. But I'm hoping they can try and turn things around with this last 3-game stretch, Joe.
Did you see Dale got his wacky underdog pick in?
I did.
Yeah, he is picking the Florida Gators over Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah. So he's in as well. He's sitting currently at 6th place right behind me. I have a hook, all right? I believe he got in a game where it didn't have a hook to it, but I have that 10.5, whereas he has 10. Behind me, or behind Dale, is Jay, and then Bama Swoosh at 3.5. So if you guys want to join in the leaderboards, you got to win, but you can do it. This week is going to be a lot of fun, but very doable.
Columbia, I need you to listen to me, okay? I'm rolling with you this time, and then I'm rolling with you at the very end of the season. This is a winnable game. Coleman has only won 1 game this year. This is a winnable game. Yes. I have rolled with you for the last 3 weeks.
I would hope they're listening now.
Come on now. I am all in on this Columbia getting a win this season.
I don't know, man. I might go with Washington State over Ole Miss. 31.5 points to get me the lead.
Come on, Columbia. I need you. All right? Nobody else is rolling with you this week, okay? It's me and you. It's me and you.
This is very intimate. Second hour coming up next.
Come on, man.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window. Now is the time to take advantage of their huge end of summer sale and get ready for the fall. Right now, all windows are 35% off. All exterior doors are 40% off. Now you get the whole door, just the price is 40% off. And get this, 0% interest for 18 months, as in no interest, nada, none. As always, the estimates are free, as is the lifetime warranty. To make an appointment, go to yourhomewindow.com. That's yourhomewindow.com.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked them to do, and both of them have developed nicely, and both of them have consistently made plays.
Wes and Steve.
Their decision-making, their judgment, their ability not to force things and take what the defense gives and distribute the ball with good decision-making, down in, down out, is probably the only thing that's going to be any different about them, because it's not physical ability or talent. So it's intangibles, leadership, decision-making, judgment, and all those types of things. And, both guys have done a good job in that regard as well.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton each weekday afternoon starting at 5. We are your home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Number 10, Georgia visiting the Auburn Tigers tomorrow. Georgia, the 3.5-point favorite, 45.5 the total at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Number 8, Alabama laying 3 at number 14, Missouri. The Crimson Tide have won 6 straight over the Tigers. Texas State laying 9.5 at home with Troy. UAB plus 5.5 at Florida Atlantic. Last night, Jacksonville State with a win on the road at Sam Houston, 29-27, but they did not cover at 7-point favorites. NASCAR Sunday, Kyle Larson plus 450 to win the Cup race at Las Vegas. Connor Zilisch plus 175 to win the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. It is going to be a fantastic Friday evening for Friday Night Football. Temperatures gradually falling through the 60s through the course of the evening, dropping into the low 50s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today. 97.7ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, as we continue the Blitz for the next hour. 1 hour. You can watch it on WZZN TV regardless as to where you are, because you can get that on YouTube, X, or Facebook. You can give us a call at 256-576-977.
On it.
You can also download that app, because that app's going to be really important. It was important last night. It's going to be important tonight. We've got basketball season going to be starting in a few weeks as well. So you're going to need it for that. There's plenty of reasons you need to download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. Tonight, John, it is going to be a pair of games for us as on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Buckhorn is hosting Southside Gadsden. Then you, myself, maybe an extra.
And a whole lot of Senators fans.
And a whole lot of Senators fans are going to head right back to where it all happened last week.
Because they filled out that side of the stands last week. And I was really proud. I was just like, okay, everybody shows up for this game.
And here's the other thing is, man, you should just done like what everybody's doing right now around A&M, because A&M's got a home game this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You should just go ahead and just tailgate. That's what you should have done. You should just a whole week. I drove through and I drove past A&M this morning driving in, and that place is already packed with people tailgating.
They do a great job showing up to those games.
They absolutely do.
So.
And the food was already being cooked, had the window down, smelling it. It was dumb and amazing at the same time. Yeah, absolutely. You need to be paying attention to all of those things and being aware that also traffic-wise, A&M is playing this on tomorrow.
Just
so
be ready for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And joining us in the next segment is going to be not any of the coaches we've actually talked to this season, but it is going to be the special teams coordinator for the Sparkman Senators, Sam Gossett's going to be joining us, talking a little bit about his players, as well as what the crowd needs to look like tonight as they're trying to take the sweep of the Madison City schools. Of course, Bob Jones, James Clemens, but of course also over in Buckhorn, you're going to be able to catch that Buckhorn Southside Gadsden squad. Southside Gadsden is a good team. They're not a great team. Buckhorn, kind of the same way. I would say they're more good than great. And I think that this is going to be a lot of fun as well. So anybody going over to that New Market area should be in for a treat tonight, Joe.
Well, and you also have...
And it's not even Halloween yet.
No, it's not even Halloween. It's going to be so much fun while we're out there. You also have Tigers and Mariners Game 5. The deciding game happening tonight as well. That series is tied at 2. The winner of this, regardless of it being either the Tigers or the Mariners, are going to hop on a plane, and they are heading to take on the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be happening on Sunday. Yes, Sunday night is when Game 1 of the ALCS will be taking place. Sir, when John takes a breath, I pause for a second thinking he's about to say something. So I was like,
oop. You're on a roll, Joe. I'll just let you go.
Just making sure you're going to let me go on this. But we also have Alabama, Missouri happening tomorrow. You'll be able to listen to that on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And I know that we've kind of talked a lot about various factors of the game, but then there comes into that trust factor. If you are Ty Simpson and you're dropping back and you are scanning your wide receivers and your number one is not available, who do you trust to throw the football to?
Jeremy Bernard.
I noticed you said Jeremy Bernard, not Ryan Williams.
Yeah, no, not Ryan Williams. Not at this moment, Joe. And I would love to see Ryan Williams make some big plays in this one. I think it would help for his confidence. Again, we were talking a lot about the secondary for Mizzou, and I think that it is a little bit shaky. So there is some moments where we're going to see these wide receivers exploit them. But at the same time, when will these players have their own mental mistakes? That's something that we've seen a lot more from Ryan Williams than any of these other wide receivers, not just on this Alabama team, but in the whole country. So for Ryan Williams, I'd love to see him kind of get more comfortable. Don't want to throw him into the middle of the field. You want to try and keep him outside. I feel like that's when most of his plays happen on those routes that are either going down the field in the form of a streak or a little bit of a stop and get to the sidelines, and then see what he can do with his athletic abilities, because this kid can juke out I would say probably a train. I wouldn't want to see that happen, but he's just fast enough to do just that. So I love what Ryan Williams did in his first season, but again, we have seen a lot of the unsure hands from him this year. But whenever he does get the ball, Joe, anything can happen at that point. And that's why I think that they're wanting to continue to try and push it to him. And if it doesn't work out, you still got Jeremy Bernard. He's able to catch the ball, make a move, but I feel like he definitely has the more sure hands. On top of that, Josh Cuevas needs to get involved a little bit more. If they can't chuck it down the field, keep the game short, take those drives and run with them. Take your time. That's something that has worked in the last 2 games. I said 10 minutes earlier. I meant 10 minutes more than the opposing team. And that's very difficult to do. But Alabama has seemingly done it against the last 2 opponents, and they've been top-ranked opponents at that. So it's okay to slow down that offense and throw the ball short. But at the same time, utilize the run game, open up the long ball, and that's whenever you can trust that a guy like Ryan Williams, even though he had that bad drop against Georgia just 2 weeks ago.
He did. So now then my question goes to you is, how much do you trust him? Because he's already got 6 drops this season. His drop rate right now is at 22.2%, which is the worst of any receiver in the country that's at least been targeted over 30 times. Those are important stats when you're going on the road. I understand it's Missouri, but you're going on the road. Missouri actually has kind of a fun environment.
It does.
It's fun. Not saying it's intimidating. It's fun. And that's a big thing if you cannot trust one of your wide receivers on like a third down. Like we talked to Zane Bodner yesterday, and we asked him, like, of all these catches, which one do you love making the most? He's like, dude, I love being the third down guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that third down guy. Like, that's
Third and Bodner.
That is it. Third and Bodner. It's not third and Williams anymore.
No, it's not.
So what is the trust factor if you look over and Williams is the only guy open?
I would give him a 7 out of 10. I'm not fully out on him, and I still think that if he catches the ball, which majority of the time he still will, I know obviously we throw out all the 7 drops, the 8 drops, and all of that stuff, but a majority of the time you pass it to him, he will catch the ball. Now, this is going to be an interesting environment. A lot of people are looking at it thinking 11 a.m. kickoff. I don't think a lot of these teams are going to be woken up for them, but you just said it, Joe. Missouri's environment is amazing at night, but I personally think it's better in the morning. These fans will wake up. They will be there. And we've seen some big wins from Missouri in these early time slots, like a few years ago against Kansas State. So those are what I'm looking at with this one. But I would give him a 7 out of 10. I'm not looking away from him. If he's wide open, I am going to chuck him the football, because if he gets the ball, it could be explosive. It could be he could turn it for 6 every single time.
Oh, did what time is this game?
11 a.m.
And the team that's ranked higher is at home or on the road?
On the road, yeah.
And the team that is favored, are they at home or on the road?
They're on. The team that's favored is on the road. Yeah.
So
3 points, John.
A higher ranked team going into with a home underdog at 11 a.m. Is that's what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking. I'm not.
Hey, think all you want, Joe. Alabama's going to come out
asking
here
questions,
and they're going to have a very fun time. But again, they need to get comfortable quick, and that means they got to rely on a little bit of that run game, as well as just get it to Josh Cuevas, man. The guy's looked good whenever you can, and it'll help the passing game kind of get started. And if you show that you're going short, they're not going to expect you going long, and that means you can take up some time. Take them maybe 5 minutes on a drive, then chuck the ball down the field, score a touchdown, and then the next time you come out there, walk a little slower, work a little bit slower, but still have a little bit of pep in your step to get those first downs. But again, this is like what we saw last night with the Giants, Joe. You can run the ball, and if you really solidify that run game, I know Cam Scattaboo is definitely not Jam Miller, but both of these guys have NFL talent, and they are able to dictate a game. I think that you definitely got to utilize every single one of your pieces on this offense if you want to get the best of Mizzou.
All right, so since we have this as a conversation point now,
okay,
there are 2 highly ranked teams that are going to be going on the road this weekend playing at 11 a.m. against a home underdog. You have Alabama, Mizzou, and Mizzou is a 3.5-point dog to Alabama. And you also have Illinois hosting Ohio State at 14.5. Both games kick off at 11 a.m. Which one of the 2 has the better likelihood of having an upset? Look,
Mizzou.
I'm the one asking the question.
I'm going with Mizzou. Illinois, I don't care, man. What I saw from that Indiana team, destroying Illinois, like not even giving them a chance to breathe, kind of just left me in awe and left me thinking, I don't know. I think this team is not legit. And they're still top 25. They're 17th in the country, 5-1. It's not a bad record at all. But Ohio State's Ohio State. And, of course, they might go on the road. They might struggle for like a few plays. But once they get comfortable, Joe, this team is unlike anybody else. And I'm still not 100% on their opponents that they played this year. It hasn't really been that difficult for them. But it's Illinois we're talking about. They just destroyed Minnesota, who was coming into that game with only 1 or 2 losses.
I'm just giving you what the trend is and which team looks to be more likely to fall subject to the trend. That's all I'm asking.
I wouldn't want you to pick that Illinois-Ohio State game for your wacky underdog pick. Let's just say that. And if I say that, even with the 14.5 points, we're talking top 20 teams. I'm very confident in that. Very confident.
Okay. How confident are you that Auburn can pull off an upset against Georgia? Because look, this is not me talking. I'm looking directly in the camera, WZZN TV. This is not me talking. I am simply asking questions. Okay? Not implying anything. How confident are you that Auburn can pull off the upset? Because right now, Auburn is a 3.5-point dog. The game is kicking off at 6:30. It's Auburn at night, Jordan Hare. And how confident are you that this offense is going to be able to put up enough points to win the game?
How much is enough, Joe? How much do you think is enough for the way that this defense has been playing, holding even Texas A&M's offense to just 17 points? How much do you think Georgia is better than the Texas A&M offense? Again, this is 6:30. This is prime time. Teams, you've been waiting all day for this game. You come out, what are you going to do? This is in Jordan Hare. This is nighttime at Jordan Hare. And on top of that, you're facing off against Georgia. I look at this game, and I'm thinking a little bit more than what ESPN's throwing at. I believe they're throwing like a 35% chance that Auburn gets the upset. If I had to lean towards a chance, I would lean more in favor towards Auburn having a chance to upset than a lot of these other games this week. Of course, I think it is very similar to a Florida versus Texas A&M. But again, Auburn's offense has shown even less than what Florida has shown. But if you are able to do what Alabama kind of did just a few weeks ago in Athens, then I think that Auburn would have a chance. But game plan with your team in mind. What is Jackson Arnold's strong suit, Joe?
Holding on to the football too long?
Holding on to the football too long.
Okay, just double checking that that's where we were going with.
Design some plays where he can get out to the sides of the field, have a little bit of a running lane, but also have maybe 1 or 2 options to pass the ball. So then he can't just be held up and look like a deer in headlights behind the offensive line that's doing a decent job, but not good enough for a quarterback that holds on to the ball too long.
Auburn right now is 5th in the SEC in sacks, but Georgia is about 4th in the SEC in sacks allowed. Mm-hmm. They've only allowed 6 so far this year. And Auburn's secondary is one of the worst in the SEC. I believe they're 12th right now in the SEC.
I love how you talk about the secondary, where I actually think that Georgia's going to win just sheerly due to the run game.
Well, and the reason I say that is because Auburn right now is 6th in the SEC in run defense. They are allowing over 88 yards a game rushing. So I asked that question because you asked about how much would be enough. Can Auburn score 20 points? You just chuckled. That's the answer is no then. That's the answer.
There is a chance though, Joe.
Bull crap. Everything after that chuckle, nobody's paying attention to.
If you hold Georgia to 17 points, Joe, Auburn can win this game. But if Auburn doesn't go off the right game plan offensively, then I don't think it's going to run the right way. I think if you're trying to chuck the ball down the field, if you get behind against Georgia and it's going into the second half, that's when things will get a little bit shaky. But I would not count Auburn out at all in this one. If they keep it close with the help of their defense, their offense has the ability to go down the field. It's just going to need to be proven in this game. We are now 5-6 weeks into the season, Joe. Auburn's offense needs to be shored up. And if they lose regardless of this game,
it's a go. It's a go. Go, 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 go.
I don't think it's a go, Joe.
It's a go.
I don't think it would be a go at this point.
It is. You do not realize I will be watching X harder than I'll be watching my fantasy team on Sunday if they lose.
People like you are the ones that are the reason why we might see that article come out.
No, look, and here's the reason why. Auburn needs to be better. I don't mean as a football program. We obviously know they need to be better as a football program. They need to be better as an administration inside of the athletic department, making decisions about a way to put Auburn in the best place. Because now that Texas and Oklahoma have come in, I know Texas is kind of having a quote-unquote down year for Texas. They're still better than you. Oklahoma, way better than you. They beat you with a man playing with a broken freaking hand. And that was his passing hand, and they still beat you. They're better than you. You have got to get your head out of your tail. Stop living in 2013 and 2010. Oh, crap. They're retiring a player's number from 2010 tomorrow, aren't they?
Oh, geez.
Never mind. They're never going to learn, okay? Like, that's the issue. When you finally decide to stop living in the past and be able to actually look at what's happening in football in 2025, you would make a better decision than Hugh Freeze. That's why I want him to lose. That's what I want him to do. Also, whoever put out the fact that Auburn's wearing their orange face masks tomorrow with the headline of orange masks, best masks, that is my thing. Do not associate that with Auburn right now. There's nothing with the word best involved with Auburn football, okay? Don't ever put bests with anything on that. No, sir.
Auburn's last two matchups have been against 9 and 11. This week, they're going to be facing off against number 10. Next week, it's going to be Mizzou. It's a tough stretch, man. I mean, at this point, if you see UGA and Mizzou win their games, those are two games at Jordan-Hare that Auburn will be dropping.
Here's what I will say.
That's whenever I will think, okay, Hugh Freeze is probably going to be gone after this one.
Here's what I'll say. If Deuce Knight is not the starting quarterback tomorrow, then I will be cheering for him to lose. I will be. If Deuce Knight is the quarterback, then okay, we're seeing Auburn at least try something.
Get your vocal cords ready, Jim.
Oh, I know. I know there is no chance Deuce Knight is going to be your starting quarterback.
They're not bringing
tomorrow.
Deuce Knight in until Arkansas.
Yeah, there's no chance that they're going to make this decision right now to try to right everything. I would take Deuce Knight having a horrible football game, but Auburn at least trying something different to regenerate any sort of excitement that they possibly could in Jordan-Hare. But here's what's going to happen. If Hugh Freeze in this offense looks as bad as what we think, first off, Jackson Arnold's getting booed the very first 3 and out. That's going to happen.
Oof.
Okay. If Auburn is down by double digits at halftime, I could already see majority of the fan base leaving. That's all you're going to need to know about if everybody's over Hugh Freeze or not.
If that actually happened, then I would think that might actually be the case. Hugh Freeze would definitely get fired.
And here's the other kicker. I literally asked you, can they score 20 points? And you even tried to hold the laughter in. Nothing after what you said was heard.
It's tough to hold the laughter in.
It is.
I'm a clown.
It is.
I'm a straight clown, man.
No. So the laughter itself was the answer. Do you really think Auburn's going to win a 17-14 game tomorrow?
It'd have to be 20-17. 21-17 would have to be the score.
And your chuckle just said that there's no chance we believe Auburn can score 20. I don't care about the first 10 plays. First 10 plays, they may look great. Hey, Kim Coleman got a couple of catches, but then it's after that when Jackson Arnold's having to actually make some decisions on the fly. It ain't happening.
Well, the first 10 plays for the Sparkman Senators have been pretty good in the last few games. And when we get back, we'll be talking with special teams coordinator Sam Gossett, talk a little bit about these Senators, their special team unit that has been very intriguing this year, as well as so much more. So stick with us here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV. Come on. Drop the ball.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4601 Whitesburg Drive in Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The Atlanta Braves.
Swung on and crushed deep left field. Kepler going back. Here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park. A walk-off home run by Marcell Ozuna.
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling along because we have some high school football coming up tonight on the high school streaming network that we have on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, because you had a couple of games last night. Matacad, you also had Mae Jemison and Decatur tonight. That is going to be Buckhorn on 97.7 ESPN The Zone hosting Southside Gadsden. Kickoff for that is at 7 o'clock. And on the Senator Zone, John, Sparkman, once again, heading back to Madison City School Stadium to take on, this time, James Clemens.
No doubt. And remember, we have you covered for all the high school action here in the area, especially afterwards when you can listen to the Woody Anderson Ford High School Scoreboard Show presented by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. And we're kind of similar to Fleming Roofing and Restoration in some way, where we got you covered with that. Of course, the presented sponsors of this show, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. And if you're having any roofing problems, just check them out online, FlemingHSV.com, the place to find them. Remember, they show up similar to Coach Gossett for the Sparkman Senators on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as he joins us right now. Coach, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. I've enjoyed a great fall break. We've had a good week of practice, and I've been able to spend the afternoon with my wife. It's been a tough week to beat.
Oh, well, now we're about to go down a rabbit hole. So what did you do during the fall break now?
Well, right now I'm working on my master's degree, so a lot of homework. But, we had a great dinner last night, got to stay out late. Went and played trivia on Tuesday.
Nice. What I'm talking about.
Wait, where did you play trivia?
Hold on, he's finishing the rest of it.
I want to know. I want to know.
No, that's well. I worry. I don't want to bring too much more competition.
Okay.
But we play out at El Monte. I live over by Buckhorn, and so we're out at El Monte.
Okay.
And it's pretty stiff competition.
I got you.
Unfortunately, I didn't know my months of the mind calendar.
Dang it! I hate when that happens.
And you call yourself a Vandy grad, please, please. Where are you getting your master's from, anyways? Are you going back to Vandy for your master's?
No. UAH.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah,
got ourselves a charger now. Okay, all right.
I know.
Go ahead.
Oh well, but my brother spent a year at UAH or 2 years at UAH before he transferred to Auburn. He played for Coach Acuff there, so I've always spent a lot of time on the campus. Coach Acuff was my dad's college roommate. Now I'm excited to be watching Stanford basketball.
Oh, okay. All right. See, so now we're getting a little bit about now. So what were the questions like? Let's get that. We know that you didn't answer the Mayan month calendar question. Okay. We get that part, but what were some of the other questions? Because I can tell John is really kind of curious. I used to do trivia like every night of the week when I was living in Birmingham. We had our spots, our Monday night spot, our Tuesday night spot, Wednesday, Thursday. We went to them every single night. So you're in my wheelhouse with this, but what were the questions?
All right, let's see. We got one of the questions was about John Locke's philosophy of tabula rasa, the idea that people are a blank slate shaped by their environment. We got a question about bird. That was a big one for me. My wife gives me a hard time about how much time I spend looking at our bird feeder, and it finally paid off.
You looked at her like, just got ourselves a gift certificate thanks to that.
Unfortunately, wasn't able to secure the gift certificate.
Come on, man. I keep trying.
There are times I beat myself up about those trivia rounds as much as I do plays for the Senators. I can have a really healthy perspective about football plays and say, you know what, like we did our best, and at the end of the day, this is about 16, 17-year-olds, and I can't go out there and make a play for them. I just put them in the best position to succeed.
Well, it sounds like you're a pretty busy guy, not just with the Sparkman Senators, but outside of that. How do you schedule all of this stuff? Of course, working with the special teams for the Senators, and then getting your master's, and then also adding on to that, of course, trivia, and then personal life stuff as well. What is the schedule like?
Schedule's busy. The big thing is making sure that my wife knows what my schedule is. She, in a lot of ways, she's the keeper of my time in terms of making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and being where I'm supposed to be. The big key is just like staying organized and maintaining boundaries on the time. You know, one of the things I learned when I was at Vandy with Coach Derek Mason, he talked a lot about being where your feet are. And that's been a big key for me with the busy schedule. And that's something that I think I've seen our football team do pretty well is be present where we are. This group of kids is doing as well in the classroom as we've had any group do, because when they're in the classroom, they're focused there in the same way that when I'm working on grad school stuff, that's what I'm focused on. When I'm in the classroom teaching, when I'm out on the football field, I want to be where my feet are. And that's something I've really tried to pass on to the kids.
No, and I forgot, you have to teach as well, which is definitely interesting. And you bring up Derek Mason, and honestly, it kind of irks me just a little bit. I know he's a great dude, amazing personality.
He is.
Having a really tough time with that Middle Tennessee squad. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. Hopefully he gets the boat in the right direction. But for the Senators, it has been going in the right direction, at least the last few weeks. And of course, coming off of that Mae Jemison loss, talk about the locker room and the chemistry and just the morale overall, because you guys were able to come back just last week and beat a Bob Jones team on the road that has already taken care of this James Clemens squad that you guys are about to face off against. Talk a little bit about how the mental side of things worked within the locker room the last few weeks as well.
Well, I think our ability to bounce back started in week 1 and week 2. We scheduled that tough out of region, Spain Park, Hillcrest. And man, Mae Jemison's no joke. That's as talented a group as you'll see up here in North Alabama.
No doubt.
It started with, like Coach Watson always emphasizes with kids, being comfortable being uncomfortable, putting kids in adverse situations so that they learn and understand that just because something goes wrong, the sky's not falling. It's not the end of the world. And when you play those tough teams to start the year, our kids the last 2 years have really learned that adversity forms you. It doesn't break you.
No doubt about that. And you talk about the message that's been thrown out there from Coach Ronnie Watson, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. And some of your players that you work very closely with in the kicking game are doing something that is uncomfortable because it's their first time playing. I mean, special teams, it is a unit that has so much turnover every single year. Talk about the guys that you're working with and what their pasts were that led them into the football field.
Well, I love those two guys. We've got two kickers, Danny Gomez and Warren Wine, and they've had very different paths to football. Danny's played a lot of ball. He played middle school. He played freshman and JV for us, and I think that's really helped him. You know, he's just nothing shakes or bothers Danny. I joke with him all the time that we could snap a basketball back there and he'd still kick it. Because he's been in every situation. Kicking on Monday nights in JV puts you in some really weird spots, dealing with pressure, dealing with weird timeouts. And so nothing bothers Danny. And he's been this great mentor in a lot of ways, even though they're in the same grade, for our punter, Warren Wine. This is his first year ever playing football. He didn't play in middle school. He didn't play hasn't played any high school ball. When he stepped out on the football field against Spain Park was the first time he had ever taken a football field in the game. And I am so impressed with that kid and his mental toughness to bounce back from, you know, a shank, to recover from, hey, that wasn't where I wanted it. And so when we talk about being present, those guys do such a good job of being present in every step of their procedure, that they do not let an issue with the snap be an issue with the kick. And we don't have many issues with snap. Noah Medlin is a great long snapper. But if we have a weird hold, if we're coming out of a weird timeout, if one of our steps isn't right, those guys do such a good job of being focused on the next step of the procedure. And I don't think anybody has to do that more than Noah Medlin. He's starting at left tackle and playing some great snaps as our long snapper and our starting left tackle. I've done a lot of work with him talking about how do we move on from an offensive possession into being the long snapper. Because if he's got a long snap, it means that the offensive possession didn't go the way we wanted it to go.
Absolutely.
And so he's done a great job of, as a senior, helping Warren come along, helping the rest of the special teams unit come along, because he's so focused and so serious about our punt unit and our field goal unit that all the other kids follow his lead in a lot of ways.
Coach, I'm really interested with the kicking portion of this, because I feel like more and more now teams are recruiting players from soccer to come over and try. Like it's hey, we're having an open kicking practice. Let's go ask the entire soccer team to come over and just try. Like it's something that, I mean,
it was the same way when I played. I remember getting a guy from Brazil. His name was Alvin George. I still remember it, but he was like, never played football before, comes over. He's got this Brazilian voice. We become best friends. But it's something so different for him.
And I watch, like, especially like goalkeepers, like they literally have a play where when they get the ball, they punt it. And every single time, especially even at UAH, every time I judge it based on football, I'm like, oh, that looks like a good 65-yard punt. Because, you can see if it goes past half the field, you're starting to make these numbers. So I'm looking at it this way of, do you guys now spend just as much time watching soccer matches that as you do football, like trying to find somebody that could potentially go in and do exactly what you were talking about, whether it's punting and or kicking?
Oh, absolutely. Both of these guys are really good soccer players. I believe Danny's a multi-year starter. I got to go watch him play last year. That was really awesome. I love seeing our guys participate in these other sports. But yeah, for me as a special teams coordinator, soccer is a big one. I teach down the hall from our soccer coach, Coach Besaw, and I communicate with him regularly. He told us at the end of last school year, hey, these are the kids that I think would be good at it. When we did our tryouts, we had a few come out there. We had a few different guys try it. Warren was the one that not only was he the best at it, but he was one that was the most excited about it. And yeah, he plays goalie. We've worked in some of those same techniques. I've become more comfortable coaching the specialist. I wasn't a specialist when I was a kid, and so I've had to learn the procedures and the techniques. And so as I've become more comfortable coaching those things, I've been able to help Warren with that transition from the goalie kick, where you're dropping the ball out to your side and you're striking the ball with a different part of your foot. It's a similar procedure, but he's had to make some of that transition, and it's been really helpful to make those connections. I'll tell you the other sport that's helped Warren, the punter, is he's also a golfer. And so he's able to think about the field and think about ball placement with the same skills and habits of mind that he uses when he's on the golf course.
Well, that is very interesting. Coach Gossett from the Sparkman Senators, special team coordinator. And Coach, I want to know, because it's not every day we get to talk with a guy that is solely in charge of something that I feel like a lot of people look past when it comes to the sport of football, but is one of the most important parts. What is the most difficult thing to coach as a special teams coordinator and get right, those Friday nights?
So when I was at Vandy, I was fortunate at our bowl game my sophomore year. I got to pick the mind of our special teams coordinator, Jeff Jenick. I think he's at Northwestern now. And he told me, he said, when you coach special teams, punt gets you fired, kickoff return gets you promoted. And I have been very focused on punt and on kickoff, because it has always been my special teams philosophy that I don't want people to remember special teams plays. I don't want to take a lot of risks. I want to make sure that the offense and the defense are able to go and win the game, because Coach Livingston and Coach Smith have such incredible groups on those sides of the ball. But man, kickoff and punt is hard. You're putting the ball in the hands of typically the opponent's best skill player in space. That's something that Coach Livingston spends a lot of time trying to prevent. How do we make sure this guy doesn't get the ball in space? And Coach Smith spends a bunch of time trying to make sure that our best skill guys, that those receivers, Reynolds, Bodner, Davis, the running backs, Marbury and Lawson, that those guys get the ball in space. And I'm willingly giving them the ball in space and then trying to get those guys on the ground. That's really hard, especially when you factor in all the other moving parts on punt, in particular of the snap, the catching the snap, getting a good drop, and getting that ball where we want it. Man, punt is stressful.
No doubt about it. And there's plenty of times throughout high school football, we see those high snaps. And of course, you were talking about the long snapper earlier. But I want to really quick touch on the return teams, it's almost like they're two totally different ones. For punt return, kick return, the identity is completely different because on one of them, Nate Davis is on the goal line and he's waiting for that kick to get to him, and he's not letting it go out the back of the end zone. But on the punt team, sometimes we see some players move away from the football, let it kind of roll itself. What's kind of the mindset there that sees a lot of those kick returns taken back?
Yeah, so the reason we don't catch a lot of those punts, one is I think one of the more underappreciated skills in football is catching a high school punt. When these guys are catching college punts, the ball's consistent. You know where the ball's going to be. You know it's going to be 40 yards from the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be between this landmark and this landmark. And when you're facing a high school punt unit, there is no telling where that ball is going to be. And so it's really hard to catch a punt at a full sprint. Nate was giving me a hard time yesterday. I was catching punts for Warren during pre-practice. I was dropping some of them, and Nate was giving me a hard time. He said, "I don't want to hear about anybody missing a punt now." But with kickoff, it's a lot easier to predict where the ball is going to be, and the guys in front of him, the guys in front of the returners on kickoff return, they're not worried about a fake. They're not worried about. They have one job, which is once they secure the kick, once they see that it's not an onside kick, they're blocking. They don't have to play a deep receiver. We've seen some good fakes this year. Albertville got us on a fake, and we've seen a lot of really good fakes on film that haven't necessarily made it onto the field yet. And so on kickoff return, we're not worried about fake. We're not worried about anything other than block the guy in front of us, and so we can be more aggressive on kickoff return. Plus, last week was the first week we'd really seen somebody put the ball right there near the goal line.
You're not wrong.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you said you worked at Vandy. This is about to be a nerd question for you about this, because I have over the last couple of months having to dive really deep into the film recording world and everything for UAH. What kind of system did you guys have set up so that you could get the game film, get the instant replays and all that to the coaches quickly so that they could be like reviewing that and stuff on the sidelines?
Oh, well, so I was there before we were doing sideline review.
Oh, okay.
When I was a cameraman, this was the 2016 season, the 17 season, and the 18 season, which I always take the moment to brag that I'm 3-0 against Tennessee when I was on staff. Never lost to Tennessee. But my first year, I was a card runner. We'd film on an SD card, and I had to run that SD card from the press box at the top of what is now First Bank Stadium.
Yep.
I'd get on an elevator, run through the concourse, run all the way up to the football office, and hand my boss, the video coordinator, the SD card.
How nervous was that? Just you got this little bitty SD card and you're like, my job is to make sure this thing stays safe, that I don't drop it, that I don't trip and break it somehow. Like, how nerve-wracking is that, keeping hold of that one little SD card?
I was so excited about being on staff and watching those games. The most nerve-wracking thing for me was I didn't want to miss play. I wasn't the cameraman. We were going to get everything filmed. I wanted to make sure I saw as much of it as possible.
Yeah.
And those 2.5-minute TV timeouts, I got pretty good about only missing a play or two. I could do that run in probably 5 or 6 minutes. But then once I was a cameraman and I was filming, we're hardwired in to DV Sport, which is the company I imagine UAH uses, either that or Exos. That's what everybody uses. So I was hardwired in. And so I would guess that now with the sideline review, in the same way that we with high school are able to via Bluetooth pull clips for our huddle sideline, I imagine they're probably using a hardwire into the cameras to pull it for a DV Sport sideline review. It's the same hardwire that ESPN uses when they do all 22 shots, or they use in Birmingham when they're doing a video review.
is Coach Sam Gossett.
Sad I actually understood every bit of that.
Yeah, technology is a wonderful thing.
2 months ago, I'd have been like, "What in heaven's name is he talking about?" But now I was like, "Okay, now I'm on page. Now I'm on page with him. Now I know what he's saying."
But Coach, we appreciate your time. It's wonderful to learn a little bit more about you, as well as some of the background within the special teams world. But looking forward to tonight. It should be a fun one. Let's make it 2-0 at Madison City Schools this week. Why not?
That's the plan.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All
Have a
right.
good afternoon.
You too, man. That is Sam Gossett, the special teams coach, Vandy alum, and the trivia master. I'm not going to say trivia master because they didn't win, so I can't say master.
You should try the trivia over at Corlejos as well.
Man, I'm telling you. Look, seriously.
Competition's a little tougher over there.
When I was about 23 or 24, dude, I lived for trivia.
That's crazy.
I mean, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, had all of them. And I did that because our teams kept winning so much. Majority of the time, what you win is gift cards to the restaurant.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where I was using gift cards that we had won to eat for free so that I could win more gift cards. And it was just a cycle going all the way around just so that I could get free food.
Okay, well, there you go. 256-576-97-7. You can't get gift cards over on Big Zone Deals, but you can save a lot of money. So go and check that out over on 977ESPN.com. But when we get back, we'll get into your phone calls and we'll close out this Friday edition of the show. We're in the home stretch here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
We are your home for Sparkman football.
Williams going to keep it. Roll to his left.
He's getting there.
He is in. Senators take a lead.
What have we witnessed in Harvest tonight?
The Senator Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Final segment, best segment, 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk with you. As we are wrapping up everything, we appreciate Coach Gossett joining us to talk a little bit about the special teams, and always appreciate the folks over at Bobcat of Huntsville as well.
No doubt, whether you need a loader, excavators, tractor, mower, or so much more, it's Bobcat of Huntsville. They even got the steel appliances that they can ship directly to you. There's so much that you can get done this weekend, and with the Bobcat of Huntsville help, well, you'll be able to knock it out before the football games all get going. But now we hop into the phone lines really quick, and we get on Brandon. How are you doing, Brandon? You got about a minute, 2 minutes to get in your thoughts and all of that good stuff. How you doing, bro?
Well, Sister Jean left us, and I have it on good authority that when she met the good Lord, she looked at him and said, really, 106 years and no Browns Super Bowl?
She probably looked at him and said, you did a good job. Because, I mean, she's older than he is.
She may have mentioned the Bears never passing for 4,000 yards too, but I think that was secondary.
Yeah.
But it's just making me think all the things she saw in her life.
106 years.
That's tough.
1920, right? Was when she was born?
1919.
Gosh, she was born. Look, man, that woman lived through the Black Sox scandal.
And was young enough to remember it.
And I mean, seriously. She lived through the Black Sox scandal, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, Vietnam,
a Great Depression.
She was born, I think, before they even had vehicles, right? Like, I mean, seriously.
No. They had the Ford Mach 1 or whatever it was called.
Mach 1.
Model T.
Yeah.
There you go.
Her first date was with a Model T.
It was in a Model T.
Yeah, it was in a Model T, maybe not with it.
Appreciate you, Brandon. We're up against the time, but we got so much more going on today. Make sure you look forward to Rich Eyes and Tom Abraham, The Drive, and all the high school football, as well as college football this weekend, all on 97.7 ESPN.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will